Welcome to Smart Stewards Money Podcast, financial conversations for millennials and adults. On this podcast, we'll be sharing practical tips and insight on personal finance for both millennials and adults. We'll be bringing in experts and guests from various fields to share their knowledge and experiences on personal and business finance. Of course, we'll be addressing common misconceptions and answering your burning questions about money management. Our goal is to equip you with the knowledge and tools you need to make informed financial decisions about how to make, manage, multiply money, build wealth, and achieve your financial goals. My name is Shola Adeshaki, and I'm going to be your host on this journey. You're in for an amazing time with us. So sit back today, grab a cup of coffee, and let's dive into the world of personal finance together. Hello friends, welcome to another episode of the Smart Stewards Money Conversations. As Smart Stewards, we provide financial literacy courses, resources, tools for Africans at home and in the diaspora. Today, we're going to be having a very special guest in the studio or on this episode with me. If you have somebody who thinks they're lagging behind in their finances, they're starting late, they do not have a hang of their finances yet, and like age is ticking, I need you to get them to watch or listen to this particular episode. Today we'll be talking about how to start your journey to financial freedom irrespective of your age. I have Dr. Irene Olumese with me this day. It's a beautiful day and it's going to be a beautiful conversation. She lives in Switzerland. She is a trauma transformation coach, and we're just going to have an amazing time talking about how to get your financial journey started. Hi, Dr. Olumese. How have you been, ma'am?
Good afternoon. It's a pleasure to be with you today, Coach Shola. Thank you for having me.
Love it. You have been a member of our community, Smart Stewards community. You have taken a couple of our courses. I see you going stronger on your journey, on your financial journey, and you have even done a testimonial, recorded a testimonial for you. I see your zeal, I see your excitement about getting your finances in order. Can you tell us a bit about your journey, your story, and where you are on your financial journey?
Thank you very much. Right. Let me say first of all, it's an honor to be here with you, and it's been really an enlightening and inspiring period to be with the Smart Stewards. I came in contact with Smart Stewards in 2020. However, back in 2019 was a wake-up call for me. My mother had passed away, and unexpectedly, by my own thinking. But when she passed away, I realized that she left a will. And when we got to read our will, my mother actually left, her resources for causes that she believed in, churches that she supported. Several charity activities that she wanted to be considered, in the distribution of her resources. But what struck me was that my mother was a school teacher. And despite the fact that she didn't build a house or all of that, with the meager income she was gaining from being a school teacher in retirement, of course, with the pension, the next to nothing, my mother was a consistent saver. Every month, she had a standing order for her saving. And it was what was accrued in her saving that she had left for the causes that she believed in. I was 53. I had worked with international organizations for years. And at that point in my life, I had absolutely nothing in my savings. And I asked myself, I believe in a number of causes that I'm pushing. If I passed away, given the circumstances that had depleted my finances, my health challenges, the many years of having to pay the huge medical bills, depleted all my savings and investments. And if I passed away in 2019, I realized that the causes that I believed in would not have received anything from me in terms of legacy beyond what I was imputing into it. And it got me thinking, what was I going to do? And since my story had brought me to a place where I had invested all my time and energy in building the foundation that came out of my story, the Feet of Grace Foundation, and I've done charity all those years, I knew it was time for me to start rebuilding wealth and to start considering a legacy that will continue to support the causes that I believed in. And I started searching, what exactly was I going to do? And of course, the first thing was to maximize my skills. I knew I could speak. I knew, of course, I've been doing inspirational speaking, and I wanted to go beyond inspirational speaking to actually supporting people who have gone through traumatic experiences. So I started coaching. But of course, when you're just starting off, there isn't any much coming into that. So I was in that phase of my life when I came in contact with Smart Steward. It was at a conference where you spoke, and I realized that, Irene, right now you can't even call yourself financially literate, talk less of being financially free. And I knew that no matter what I had built and lost, I could rebuild again if I get education, if I get the right support. And that was exactly how I began my quest for information, for knowledge that will help me to rebuild wealth again.
I love it. Let me just interrupt you a bit. I totally can relate with that story. And you just got my attention. I'm like, wow. Now, there is that moment where we all sort of introspect and reflect on our lives. For some people, nothing happens really. They just wake up to the fact that, hey, I've got to get my finances in order. For you, it was your mom's demise, and what you saw was what inspired you. For me, I just quickly share my own experience as well. I mean, I read accounting in school, got all of the certifications, and I mean, I was earning quite well, as at that time, but I wasn't able to save. I wasn't able to invest. I mean, 1 week after salary was paid about 17 years ago, when I was earning about $500,000, I was always broke. And I would come out in church each time there was a call for those who needed prayers. I would come out and raise my hands because I felt I had spiritual problems, and that some people, I mean, in those days, we didn't use the phrase village people. But I mean, if you needed deliverance, you know what, alas, it wasn't, I didn't need any deliverance. I just needed financial literacy. There is always that point where we are jolted back into reality. And I am very, very inspired by your story. I am glad that it was something good that inspired you. Your mom inspired you. So for everybody listening, you might have had some experiences not too good. For some of you, you might have been inspired by your friend. You might have been inspired by maybe a neighbor or something you read on the news. But the most important thing is that there must be a wake-up call, and your journey to financial security must start, has to start. I mean, it might be late, it might be soon, but don't wait till tomorrow. Now, back to you, ma'am. And when you realized you needed to take your finances more seriously, what were the practical things that you did? I know you already talked about embracing financial literacy, but in 3 years, in 4 years, what have you done practically, and how have you been able to expedite your journey, to financial freedom?
Okay. So when I got to that point, I knew first and foremost I needed to make income. And it had to be on a consistent basis if I was going to have any consistency in saving and investing again. And for me, I have to put again, because these were things I had done before and I lost, and due to circumstances beyond my control. So first, earning income again was critical for me, and earning income again and not just putting everything into the foundation also was important for me. So I needed to be sure that what I'm earning, I could make a saving out of it. And no matter how little it was, I was going to make a saving out of it. And so, of course, I had diversity of skills. And I think doing the Fit for Flight course and also the Digitalize Your Diamond courses helped me to look at all the things that I could do. I mean, already at that time, I had a bidding business, but it was like I was doing the business, but I was putting everything that I get out of it into charity. My friends call me Mother Christmas. I love gift giving, but I also realized that if I'm going to be able to sustain that dream and desire to be a giver, I need to be able to do it in a sustainable way. So improving my income became important to me. And managing the resources that is coming from the different things that I was doing was also important. And I also knew that I need to reduce debt because I had, my credit card was literally maxed. And there was no way I would be able to do the kind of things that I wanted to do if I don't reduce my debt as well. So I needed a plan. And the spreadsheet, your net worth was an eye-opener for me. So when I did that and I saw where I was, it became like, what can I put aside on a monthly basis? No matter what percentage of my income that comes in, can I at this point, I mean, it wasn't like I had a big income or something consistent, but whatever it was, I was going to put something away. And doing that was really very useful to the fact that I started setting investment goals. And there were opportunities for me to invest at the level that I could afford. That was also very useful. So, I mean, I wasn't looking for something big or massive. I just knew that if I could save 100,000 here, 200,000 here, there are places I could invest them into. And I could, so I did all those agro partnership when it was still good. And it was having a goal, having a focus, having something to look forward to was really very helpful. And so while it did not, take away from my desire to be a giver, but it also helped me to be disciplined, to give myself a budget for giving. I could not, I mean, one of the things that I was really bad with is that I could use everything we have to give, but I had to become, disciplined. I mean, that I didn't run my husband bankrupt is a sheer miracle. So I had to become disciplined with that as well. If the budget is not there, it's not there. The budget is exhausted, it's exhausted. And moderate also how I make people dependent on me. So all of that needed to, I needed to rework that direction. So doing those investments and getting returns back on it was an inspiration. It just kept pushing me on. And so once one investment matured, I just put it back into it. And then I think the thrift contribution was also very useful because I could contribute what I'm saving. So it's not where I could reach it. I could put it away, somewhere where I knew that, okay, I will now have a bulk that I can put into whatever project I wanted to work on, whether it's the Christmas gift that I want to do, then I could save in advance for it and get the money and put it away. Or if it's an investment, I could save the money in little bits and then I'll be able to do that. And then I think the other thing that also helped was the cooperative. So I had these different pockets that I knew I needed to put whatever is coming into my hand into, and this allocated. I'm not very good at budgeting. Let me say, I wasn't very good at budgeting. I'm still not there yet. But now I have a framework that I can work with. I knew what must go where and there, and then what I can do. I have a budget for everything now. Literally, whether I follow it or not, it's another story, but at least I have a structure that is helping me to stay focused. And also the fact that I have a goal. I think it was really very important having a financial goal, having a vision of where you want to be. And for me, it was like be able to fulfill my dreams and also ensure that I build up something that I can give to my children and say, okay, I mean, they don't need, just as I didn't need my mother's, anything from my mother's resource, my children don't need my resources, but this is my gift to you as your mother, and from the foundation, this is what I want to go. I want to be able to write a will that says, okay, this takes care, goes into my foundation on a yearly basis, whatever comes out of my investment. And that it's a very comfortable place to be, to know that You have something that lives beyond you, not just while you're here.
Thank you. That's going to lead me to my final question, but I just wanted to do a recap of all of the practical things that you have done. You harnessed your skills, you started to make more money, you budgeted, and you are still budgeting. You set financial goals, you saved, you invested in different buckets, and of course, your returns, they were inspiring, and they inspired you to do more. I see that, and I see the power of, communities, because I heard you say thrift, which was something we did as Smart Stewards, the cooperative, which is something we still do. You talked about the Fit to Fly financial course, which is our signature course at Smart Stewards. I totally love it. Now, my final question for you would be, you have said it time and again during the course of this podcast, my foundation. I want to be able to give. I want to be able to help. Now, as somebody who is in her 50s, what advice would you give to somebody who is saying, I don't have money, I've not been able to save anything, and I'm almost retiring. I cannot give. I just let me make money. Let me get all I can, and then I'll can all I get. So what advice would you give to them, in terms of balancing income and impact? You want to be able to make money and live a financially secure life, but you also want to be able to impact and influence others and leave a legacy.
Yeah, I think we must live beyond our life today. And I think that we need to have a mission or a purpose that is beyond us. I think that is the starting point. For me, I needed to have that purpose that is beyond me, and it was birthed out of my story. I lost both legs. And when I lost both legs after several decades of chronic diseases, there has to be something bigger than my existence in the moment. All right. So the foundation was all about helping other amputees to be able to walk again. And that is a purpose that is far beyond me. And that means that no matter how little, no matter where we are in our life's journey, whether in your 20s or 30s or 40s, you need to have a purpose that is beyond you, that is inspiring you, that is pushing you, motivating you to go the extra mile. Yes, things may be difficult, and I know what it's all about. I know what it is like to go from having 4-5 figures in your account in foreign currency to zero, and to have an account declared delinquent because of the life challenges. But I also know that is a season that will pass if we are forward-looking. And so there is no little saving. That is my position. No matter how little. My mother was a school teacher, and on a monthly basis, she was putting away what we will consider to be little. But she was putting it away consistently. So there's that forward looking, there's that consistency, and the amount is not the question. It is the consistency in which we put it in a way. And but for us to be consistent, there has to be a focus, something that is driving us, something that is beyond us, that we are looking towards, that we want to accomplish, that is beyond the present. And finally, I am a firm believer that there is no one who is a generous giver who will lack opportunities to be able to continue to give. If my motive is to be a generous giver, to be a conduit of God's blessings to other people, the more I am pursuing it, the more opportunity, I open up the opportunities for more to come to me. My motivation is not to get more. My motivation is to be a conduit. And there is no way you can be a conduit that you're not blessed in the process. So our why, the why behind our word, is absolutely important. It is never too late to start putting something aside to be a blessing. We can't eat everything we earn because circumstances are challenging. Yes, I understand that. But in the midst of all that, we need to think beyond today and look into the future as well.
Thank you so much. I am reminded of that scripture that says, there is he that giveth and increases, and there is he that withholds more than his needs, and it tends to poverty. Beautiful. I thank you for this session. I mean, for me, it's inspiring and very reflective at the same time. I like, the passion with which you have explained the fact that our lives are too small to be the center of our lives. We must be forward thinking. We must think about people around us. We must live a life of mission, passion, and vision to, be a blessing and to leave a legacy for the upcoming generation. Thank you so much, ma'am. This has been very, very insightful. I hope when we call on you another time, you'll be more than willing to join us on this podcast. Guys, I need you to... My pleasure. Thank you. I need you to share this particular podcast with anybody who thinks they are lagging behind, who thinks they are late to the table, who thinks that they are a financial late bloomer, right? No, this is a good time to start. This is a good time to give your financial future a chance to start to thrive. And trust me, we are here at Smart Stewards to help you navigate that journey to financial freedom. Read more about what we do at smartstewards.com. We've got courses, we've got a community, we've got resources, and a lot of money challenges that will help you with your resources. We've got members in about 40 countries, and there's somebody who is able to support you on your journey. Until we come your way next time. Bye-bye.